It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Hey everybody, Dan DeFaw here, co-host of the Up North Journal, and you're tuning into a mini podcast where we're going to elevate your game in the archery world by listening to a tech tip from PSE's own Bobby Vargas of the PSE Marketing Department. So stay tuned and listen in.
Hey, we're back for another PSE Tech Tip with Bobby Vargas. Got Bobby on the line tonight. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing all right. How are you today, Mike?
Hey, we're doing good. You know, we've had you on 2 weeks here. We've been talking bow fishing, you know, and we've talked about the setup. We've talked about the practice. Now, when we get on the water, I've seen some things and heard of some things that's happened because people aren't taking the proper safety precautions. What do you recommend people pay particular attention to with safety when they're on the water with a bow?
Well, when you're on the water with the bow, you know, you want it to be fun for sure. Anytime you're out with your bow or doing anything that you really love, you want it to be fun. But in order to keep it fun, you have to be safe for sure. And some of the things I think a lot of people dismiss are safety glasses. You know, most of today's bow fishing setups are they've got some safety measures already put in place, and they're already in mind. But you can't. Safety is not an accident. You have to be safe on your own. So safety glasses for sure I'd recommend. No matter how good the equipment is, you don't want to risk having an arrow snap back at you and get you in the eye or anywhere for that matter. But if you can protect your eyes, that's definitely what you want to do. Also want to recommend, you know, wearing some gloves while you're on the boat or on the water for that matter. You shoot that big fish and you have to pull them in. A lot of times you have to put the bow down and pull the fish in by hand because they're too big for the reel that's on the bow to work. So you got to put the bow down and actually pull that fish in. And if you got a big one that's a little squirrely, he's going to pull away from you, and you're going to get some bad burns on your hands. So definitely want to wear some gloves. Just some of your regular mechanics gloves that you can buy at the local hardware store will work just fine. Don't worry about getting them wet or bloody because they're gonna if you're doing it right. But eye protection and gloves, and then if you're doing it in the daytime, keep your skin covered or put plenty of sunscreen on. It's easy to forget about that when you're on the water and you're having a lot of fun. You forget about some of those other little safety precautions like sunscreen. And also, you know, bow fishing, the best times are during the summer. You need that sunscreen and you need your water. Yeah, I know you're on the water, but drink lots of water. Keep yourself hydrated. Keep your skin protected, keep your eyes and hands protected, and go out there and have fun.
You know, I got a question I just happened to think of. You know, we do a lot of shooting here at night, and we always carry PFDs with us on the boat because it's the law, number one, and for safety reasons. But we typically don't wear them. Is there an issue with putting a PFD on and it catching with the string when you're drawing? I mean, I know a lot of guys, especially us older guys, we like to think we're 10 feet tall and bulletproof and we can swim and whatever, but what do you think about that?
You know, I think it's a great idea. If you're not comfortable, anytime you're on the boat, you should have a personal flotation device for sure. But especially for any of the youngsters that you might have on the boat. But you know, there are lots of different models and versions of it out there where you can safely shoot your bow with a PFD on. So that's another good point. I'm glad you brought that up. We touched on a lot of other safety measures, but yeah, if you're on a boat, no matter how comfortable you are with the water or not, it's always a good idea to have a PFD on.
All right. Well, that's some great tips. You know, you guys be safe out there. Bobby, thank you for taking some time sitting down with us. And remember, any of the other tech tips you can find over on PSE's YouTube page. Make sure you go over and check those out. That'll do it for this tech tip.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to that tech tip in our mini podcast. And if you'd like to hear our full-length version podcast, come on over to our webpage, upnorthjournal.com, and you can check out all our full-length version podcasts there. And also, anything else that we like to do, come on over to our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, and you can check out many more things that we do in the outdoors. So give us a listen.